The men's basketball team is hot, hot, hot. The Heels massacred the Arkansas Razorbacks in the second round of the NCAA tournament, sending them to the Sweet 16. In the first round of the tournament, UNC breezed past Mount St. Mary's 113-74. In the second game tie, dropping two more. The guy's just filthy, not to be outdone. Rainin Wayne owning the perimeter and the paint. He had 20 for the day, and the Heels shot 67% from the field. Danny Green showing off some skill here. The duo would hook up two more times. Dunks, slams, jams, blocks, and some guy named Psycho T all came together to blast the Heels past the Razorbacks. The boys in blue square off against the Washington State Cougars this Thursday. The Heels move on to the Charlotte Bobcats Arena for that game, hoping to keep up the torrid pace. The Heels have scored more than 100 points in each of their first two tournament games. If the team wins Thursday, Carolina will face Louisville or Tennessee in the Elite Eight on Saturday. After cruising through the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament, the Heels received a special send-off as they headed to Charlotte. The Tar Heel faithful gathered in the Dean Dome yesterday to give Roy's boys a first-class going-away celebration. More than 100 Carolina fans waited in the Smith Center parking lot with signs and balloons as the team made its way to the bus. After a few minutes of meeting and greeting, Coach Roy Williams and the players boarded the bus and were on their way to Charlotte. The women's team is also heading on to the Sweet 16. Rashana McCants led the ladies with 23 points against Georgia. Arlena Larkins added another 18. The Bulldogs played a sloppy game with 24 turnovers and two players fouled out. Carolina cruised to an 80-66 victory. The women are headed to New Orleans to face Louisville. If they win, the Heels will face LSU or Louisville. Carolina is hoping the town isn't the only Big Easy as the Heels try to make their third straight Final Four. And the number 3 ranked Tar Heel baseball team is on a roll. Carolina gave Davidson Wildcats a vicious spanking yesterday. Working the mojo early, the Heels blasted into the game with a 5-0 lead by the second inning and never looked back. Here's UNC's Chad Flack working with some serious aluminum as he belts a monster double into left. He had a pair on the night. Blistering pitching sent the Cats packing for the walk of shame several times. The Heels also turned in some old solid defensive play and cruised past the Cats for a 12-6 victory. And the Carolina women's softball team blew out Elon yesterday 7-0. Junior right-hander Lisa Norris carried the Heels, striking out a career-high 16 batters. Carolina's reigning ACC Player of the Week, Danielle Spalding, hit a 3-run homer in the 5th, helping the women cruise to the victory. And most Tar Heels will be focused on the Final Four on April 5th, but the football team is gearing up for its annual spring game that day. Players are already back into the swing of things because spring practices started in early March. Butch Davis emphasized conditioning through the early practices, and the big headline heading into the spring game is the three-way battle for the quarterback spot. There's also a lot of eyes on Greg Little to see how he'll do at running back. The game is in Kenan Stadium and is open to the public. Tell you what, Adam, if the Tar Heels win the national championship, I think I might have to do the Zankiliwa dance for you.
You know, I don't know if we really want to see that, but I like a Final Four, so I'll put up with it.
We'll see what happens and keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Walter. Well, it's not often we hear about quiet rock and roll.
But coming up, we'll show you an exhibit that silently pays tribute to some local musicians.